Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'd like to welcome myself back to my own channel. I've been on a 2.5-3 month hiatus. Not to say that I haven't traveled to MLS games or have mountains of footage that still need to be edited, but I just didn't get a chance to watch very much soccer and I missed every single minute of the World Cup, which is insane, I know. But I'm back and today I want to talk to you about Rivalry Week. Year after year, MLS attempts to make Rivalry Week something worth watching, pitting teams against each other for no real reason other than, I don't know, geographical location. Sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't. But as I rank the top few rivalry games to watch this week, I will give you a reason to tune in. First, tonight, New York Red Bulls at New York City FC. They're both still in contention for the Supporters' Shield, with Atlanta United, of course, at the top. After a summer on the bench, David Villa is back, although not in full force. He cannot make a full 90, but looks to lead his team as captain. And if your summer was anything like mine, you will not have noticed until now that Jesse Marsch for the Red Bulls and Patrick Vieira for New York City have both left for coaching jobs in Europe. So congratulations to them, but this means we're playing with a whole new style of Red Bulls and New York City. I do dub this one the decider. Of all the rivalry games this week, this one has the most consequence for teams at the top, although it does not in any way interfere with their playoff chances. New York City and New York Red Bulls is number one. Number two, Atlanta United at Orlando City. Now, Atlanta United is a 2-year-old team. Do they even technically have a rival? I decided to call my brother Paul and ask him a few questions about the Atlanta United-Orlando City rivalry. So, geographically speaking, I know Atlanta and Orlando are the two teams in the South, and they make sense as rivals, but it seems like there was tension before you guys ever even played. How did that even start?
Yeah, so before, Atlanta's inaugural season last year, I think Orlando was around 2 seasons. In the beginning, it felt like they were forcing the rivalry on us. We had no reason really to hate Orlando yet because we never played them. But, before we went down there for our first game, the Atlanta United front office took out the now infamous billboard in downtown Orlando saying something like, "We're coming to conquer." And that was not taken well. We won that game, 1-0. In Orlando. We had 2 really close games. The next game I think we played was one where they were up all game, and then Tito Villalba scored the goal of the year, I think. It won goal of the year last year in MLS in like the 90th minute to equalize it. So, going into this weekend, we've played 5 times. We played 3 games last season, twice so far this season. And Atlanta United has never lost. We've won 3 games and drawn 2. They're our rivals in as much as a team that's never beaten us can be our rival.
Well, I know supporters groups in Atlanta, number one, show up in such a big way to games at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but they also travel really, really well. How hostile is Orlando territory, and are there any sort of big beefs between the fans in Atlanta and the fans in Orlando?
Oh yeah. And I'll brag on us just a little bit. Like we do, like our group specifically, Resurgence travels awesome. So travel is something we really push. What's kind of been difficult with Orlando is they purposely limit the tickets they sell to away fans, at least Atlanta games.
With Atlanta at the top and also in the race for the Supporters' Shield, and Orlando having only won a single game in their last 15 games, I know that this game is worth watching for the sheer joy of Atlanta United for you, but what's at stake for this game? Is it worth watching for the rest of us?
I think if you're a fan of the league, it's more than likely that you dislike Orlando. So part of the reason you want to tune in is because it's fun to watch them suck so much. Outside of that, this game specifically, Josef Martinez has a chance to set the all-time single-season goal record. He tied it last week with a goal. So if he scores one in Orlando, he'll hold that record by himself.
Well, I'll remember your words as I watch, and I appreciate you breaking down the Orlando City Atlanta United rivalry. I wish you the best of luck as you watch, and I appreciate it. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, no problem.
Number 3, New York Red Bulls and DC United. DC United travels to Red Bull Arena on Sunday and looks to capitalize on the exhaustion from tonight's game for the Red Bulls. Lucho Acosta has scored or assisted in 5 straight games, and DC United is on an absolute tear ever since Wayne Rooney joined. Every game is crucial for DC United now with the playoffs in sight. We still have 9-10 weeks left, and I suggest you tune into this game, particularly because DC United are actually fun to watch now. That's rivalry game number 3. Now, for the sake of rivalry week, here are some honorable mentions. Colorado and Real Salt Lake play in the Rocky Mountain Cup. Real Salt Lake just came off of a awesome, dramatic 2-1 win over Houston, where they scored both their tying and go-ahead goal in stoppage time. Houston and Dallas are playing in the Texas Derby. Dallas is first in the Western Conference and recently traded Kellen Acosta to Colorado. LA Galaxy and LAFC is a new and yet still dramatic rivalry. Their first matchup this year was the 3-0 at halftime and 4-3 comeback with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and their second meeting was a 2-2 draw. With Alessandrini and both Dos Santos brothers out for LA Galaxy, this game might actually be an all-out brawl. And speaking of Western Conference teams I don't care about, Portland and Seattle. I dubbed this rivalry the Classic. Portland had a 15-game unbeaten streak this year, which was broken with 3 straight losses, one at the hand of DC United, 4-1 last week, and then this weekend, the first game I've seen in a very long time live, Sporting Kansas City crushed them 3-0. Seattle had a terrible start to the year, however have gone on to win 6 straight games, including, like I mentioned, the 5-0 demolition of LA Galaxy. Portland plays horribly on the road. However, this game is at Providence Park. They have the benefit of being at home. However, if they lose, it means a couple of things. Seattle continues on the up and up, and Portland are in for a terrible rest of the season. We'll see what happens, and I look forward to not watching the game. Was that petty? All right. And lastly, you've got Philadelphia and New England, and Toronto and Montreal. Don't necessarily recommend watching those games, but if you want to see the roughest of the rough duke it out, I wish you all the best. That is rivalry week. I look forward to catching up on some soccer this week and weekend. I'll add the schedule at the end of this video and in the comments below. My prediction for DC is we put up a good fight, may actually beat New York Red Bulls for the first time this season. Best of luck to them. Best of luck to me in my reacclimation to Kansas City. I will likely be going to Sporting Kansas City's game against Minnesota United. Kansas City is also on their own tear and will likely demolish Minnesota United. Please like, subscribe, and support my channel on Twitter at BTWNCleanSheets, where I give the most up-to-date thoughts and musings from myself. Thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Our soccer.